Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to demystify one of the trickiest but most essential parts of French grammar: how to talk about what belongs to you, to me, and, well, to everyone else.
So, if you've ever found yourself just staring at a sentence, completely lost between son, ça, and cesse, or maybe wondering when on earth you're supposed to use lithia instead of ton, you are definitely in the right place. It's a super common hurdle, but we're about to clear it together. So, how does French handle ownership? Well, it all breaks down into two main categories. First up, you've got possessive adjectives, which are kind of like little tags you attach directly to a noun. And then you have possessive pronouns, which are stand-ins that replace the noun and its tag completely, mostly to avoid repeating yourself.
Let's start with the foundation, the possessive adjectives. The most important thing to get about these is that they just can't live on their own. They always, and I mean always, need a noun right beside them.
Okay, now here it is. This is the single biggest rule you need to memorize. It's the key that unlocks absolutely everything. Unlike in English, the French possessive adjective agrees in gender and number with the item that is possessed, not the person who owns it. Let's really dig into what that means.
So, for a singular owner, like I, that's je, you'll use moi for a masculine object, ma for a feminine one, and me for any plural object. And you see that same pattern follows for you, tu, with ton, ta, tes, and for he or she, il or elle, with son, sa, ses.
Now, for the plural owners, like we, nous, it's notre for a singular possession and nos for plural ones. For you, vous, it's votre and vos. And for they, ils/elles, it's leur and leurs. So you might notice something here. The gender of the singular item doesn't actually change the adjective for notre, votre, or leur. A little simpler, right?
And this is where that golden rule really clicks into place. So look here. Philippe is male and Marie is female. But when we talk about their book, both sentences use son livre. So why is that? It's because the adjective son doesn't care one bit about Philippe or Marie. It only cares about the noun livre, which is masculine. You always have to look at the object.
Of course, just when you start to get comfortable, French introduces an exception. You knew it was coming. But trust me, this one is all about making the language sound more beautiful. Let's check out the critical vowel rule. You see, the French language really tries to avoid that clunky sound of two vowels meeting between words. To solve this, if a feminine noun starts with a vowel or a silent H, you don't use the feminine adjective. Instead, you actually borrow the masculine one, just to create a smoother, more flowing sound.
And here's the perfect example. The word for a female friend, amie, is feminine, so your first thought is probably that my friend would be ma amie, right? But that ah sound is exactly what French avoids, so we swap ma for ma to get mon ami. It just sounds better, and it's the correct way to say it. And this applies to ton and son as well.
All right, you've mastered the adjectives. Let's move on to their powerful counterparts, the possessive pronouns. These are the words that are going to stop you from repeating yourself and make your sentences sound way more efficient and elegant. Think of a possessive pronoun as a compact little package. It takes the adjective and the noun, like my book, and combines them into a single word, mine. Now, the absolute must-know rule here is that these pronouns always need an article, le, la, or less, right before them. That little article is your big signal that you're looking at a pronoun. So, for mine, you now have 4 choices depending on the gender and number of the object you're replacing. You've got le mien for masculine singular things, la mienne for feminine singular, les miens for masculine plural, and les miennes for feminine plural. And the same 4-way split goes for yours, le tien, la tienne, and his/hers, le sien, la sienne. For the plural owners, the pattern just keeps going. Ours can be le nôtre, la nôtre, or les nôtres. Yours can be le vôtre, la vôtre, or les vôtres, and theirs becomes le leur, la leur, or les leurs. Once again, that article and the ending have to match the noun that's being replaced. Okay, here's a fantastic little tip for telling the adjective notre from the pronoun le nôtre. Look for the little hat, that circumflex accent. If you see that accent on notre or votre, it's a pronoun. No hat, it's an adjective. It's as simple as that. So now, we've got both sets of tools in our belts. Let's put them side by side and see how they work together to make conversations really flow. Here you can see the swap in real time. The adjective plus noun phrase on the left, like mon livre, gets so neatly replaced by the single pronoun on the right, le mien. A feminine phrase like sa voiture becomes la sienne. See? It's a direct substitution. This is where pronouns are just going to make your French sound so much more fluid. Instead of saying, that is your car, my car is older, which is a little bit clunky, right? You just identify the repeated phrase, my car, and swap it out. The sentence becomes, that is your car, mine is older. Ma moteur becomes la mienne. It's so much smoother and sounds way more natural. Okay, we have covered a lot of ground, so let's lock in the most important rules with a really quick recap. So, if you remember anything from today, remember this. Adjectives are tags that describe nouns. Pronouns are stand-ins that replace them. Most importantly, agreement in gender and number is always with the item, not the owner. And finally, always watch out for that special vowel rule for feminine nouns. So, there you have it, the complete guide to expressing ownership in French. The knowledge is now yours. So the only question left is, what will you claim as le vôtre or la vôtre?